Last week for Wild Card Weekend, didn't get off to the best start. Not the case for the divisional. I like to ease into the playoffs, start a little slow, and pick up that steam, kind of like the Flintstones mobile. That's what we did yesterday. Isaiah Pacheco looked good. The over on Lawrence completions. We hit the Kelsey touchdown Chiefs money line parlay. We hit Hurts more touchdown passes than Daniel Jones. We hit the Hurts touchdown with the Chiefs by -2.5. We definitely hit way more than we missed. And, with Mahomes going down, I think that affected a lot of the receiving props in that KC side of the ball in the first game, but still was a very good day. I'll be looking to continue that onto Sunday here as we got two real juicy, what could be close games on this divisional weekend. Now, one bet that you can always make, $5 on anything. You pick the bet, and DraftKings Sportsbook will credit you with $200 in free bet credits. You just got to bet 5, and it will be in your account. Now, you don't even have to win. You do not have to win, but one thing you do have to do is be in a place where sports betting is legal, and you got to be 21, no scam, fake IDs, and if you got an issue, you're a ticker, you got to call someone, and that someone is 1-800-GAMBLER. Looking at some of my favorite bets this Sunday, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm going to be looking at some of the same receivers from last weekend and the week before. I told you I'm going to keep rolling it over, and I told you I'm going to keep getting rewarded. Give me the over on receiving yards for both Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs. The target tree over there in Buffalo, it's pretty condensed. It's Diggs, Davis, then a little bit to Knox, some to the running backs, and one or two sprinkles to Cole Beasley. But the chunk yardage plays are almost always going to Davis and Diggs. We took the over on both of them last week. They both hit last week. They both went over 100 yards last week. So that's why when I revisit my same game parlay that I'm going to give you at the end of this video, we're going to be looking at some of those, bumped up totals, which will give you a big plus money. We'll see if we can hit one of those for you. But definitely the over on Davis, the over on Diggs. And what about the Cincinnati side of the ball? I still say the same thing. Too many goddamn weapons where I don't know. Is it going to be Hurst? Is it going to be Higgins? Is it going to be Chase? Is Burrow going to have time to get the ball out of his hands? Should we take the completions on Burrow because they have 3 offensive linemen missing, so they're just going to have to get it out of his hands? Should we take the Joe Mixon over on receiving? I'm tempted to take the over on Joe Mixon receiving because I think they're going to have to dump it off a few times to relieve some of the pressure that's going to be on Burrow with all those offensive linemen missing. So I'm tempted to take the over on Joe Mixon receiving, but definitely the over on those 2 Buffalo players in that game. That's what I particularly like for that game. I do like the Buffalo money line if you wanted to combine it with any of those. I know Cincinnati's the belle of the ball, but it just seems like they're not going to be able to pull it out and actually win. They might cover, but if you want to combine in the Buffalo money line with any of those, I can definitely get behind that. And then in the second game, who's that guy last week whose total we bumped? I said it's my favorite bet of that game. It was Dalton Schultz, and he came through rather easily. And his total is still relatively low, and I'm going to take the over on Dalton Schultz yet again. When you think about the San Francisco 49ers defense, it's great, but you are able to move the ball through the air against them. They play a lot of zone. Who's the guy who's going to be able to operate over the middle, in between those zones, and pile up some yardage? I'm looking right at Dalton Schultz again. I think he's going to go over his receiving total, so give me the over on him once again. Then I'm going to be looking at both of those running backs. And no, I'm not talking about Ezekiel Elliott because he's going to do a grand total of nothing in this game. I'm going to take the over on receiving yards for Tony Pollard. I know last week he hit the over on receptions but not receiving yards. I'm going to look for him to hit the over on those receiving yards this week. When you're thinking about spreading out that Niners defense and getting it to your most dynamic ball carriers, that's Tony Pollard. So I'm thinking a few screens, a 1 or 2 dump off. He wasn't able to break one last week, but usually if he's able to break one, he hits the over on that alone. And it's not like the total is ridiculously high. It's under 20. I really like taking the over on Tony Pollard receiving yards. And then on the other side of the ball, Christian McCaffrey. He wasn't able to hit his over on receiving last week. He was killing it on the ground. And I think this week we're going to get a little bit more through the air. We've seen McCaffrey kill it through the air with Purdy in the past. It's not like it's something where he hasn't really been doing it once he got to San Francisco. We've seen games like Seattle, not the one last week, but when they played up in Seattle, and other games where he's had 8 catches for 90 yards, and his total is extremely manageable. And just like Tony Pollard, he's one of those guys who can take one screen and hit that over for you. And I love circumstances like that. So I'm going to take the over on both Pollard and Christian McCaffrey, along with that over on Dalton Schultz receiving yards. Now let's try to smack that same game parlay where I try to jack some of these numbers up to give you a big plus money bets. Let's take some of those picks. Let's take elevated Davis, elevated Diggs, little bit of Joe Mixon, and the Buffalo money line. You want some money? There it is right there. I'm going to trust that he's going to be winging the ball and stay aggressive against a team who they're probably going to think is going to score points. They've been able to score points. They moved right down the field on Buffalo 2 straight drives, albeit at home with some of those offensive linemen who won't be playing. You got to think Buffalo's play calling is going to be aggressive against a team like Cincinnati, and I'm going to try to use that to my benefit. Worked last week, and I really think they're going to try to be slinging it out there. So give me that same game parlay, and that's what I got for you on this Sunday. Hope to close out this weekend with a good divisional round, a good to very good, and if I hit one of these huge ones, Tony the Tiger, great. That's what I'm going to try to do for you. Thank you guys for watching. You got to subscribe to the Odd Shopper channel here if you haven't done that yet. I don't know what you're waiting for. What do you think? You know what's right around the corner? We got conference championships, Super Bowl, NHL play. We got tons of stuff here, and there's plenty of reasons that you should be subscribed. So subscribe to the Odd Shopper channel. Like this video, give me some of your comments, and follow me on social media. You see that name on the bottom left portion of your screen? That's how you spell it on all platforms. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. All right? I'll be back with you tomorrow. No, I won't be. I'll be back with you tomorrow, but that's for NHL. I'll be back with you for the conference championships. Good luck to you. Better luck to me. Take it easy.